Hello my friends and welcome. Let's start this update from Pocrosk direction Myrnograd. You can see that with the latest update it is fully encircled, but there's some of the good news. There is no more presence of Ukrainian army in Novopavlivka, Suhy Yar and Lysivka, so Ukraine was capable to withdraw the forces from the southern region to Myrnograd itself. But as we see, the situation in this town is not okay for Ukrainian armed forces. Let's go to the update. It was yesterday and it is today. You can see that the gray area is all around. And the same update we have from other analytics, so this is a very tricky spot. There was the bottleneck. It is still out there, but it's very risky for Ukrainian army to move out. It's not possible without losses any longer. Moreover, the group of the Russian army was spotted in a Rivena village. Let's check it out. Yeah, they say that Rivena is under their control. It's been confirmed. I also saw the drone image of the Russian assault operation. Sorry guys, I cannot show you on this channel those infantry attack images. Well, Russians, unfortunately, they caused some of the losses for Ukraine and they imprisoned the Ukrainian soldiers in Rivne. Just 4 of the soldiers. But from the video it is understandable that our guys were caught off guard. They didn't expect this Russian attack. Yes, this is the map with the vectors, so you can see that Russians took this territory in the south. Myrnograd is encircled with this move of the Russian army. And as Russians definitely established their control over Rivne, for Ukraine it's gonna be even more difficult to leave Myrnograd. And also it seems like Russians used their record number of the drones and also some of the big drones capable to demolish houses. So yeah, Ukraine was not that successful even before Ukraine put the flag here somewhere in the central part of Pokrovsk, but Russia moved further. There was actually an attempt of Ukrainian army to counterattack in Krasny Liman and also in Pokrovsk itself, as we saw before with that flag, but the limited forces are not compatible or compatible with Russia. Russia deployed thousands and thousands of the troops and finally they got Rivne under control. This Ukrainian attack was not successful, this just partially successful, but Russians moved and their idea is to advance from Krasny Liman and from Rivne simultaneously, cutting completely this gap, and still there is some occasional presence of the Russian army. That's why it's the gray area. And yes, it's now officially Ukrainian military command confirmed the withdrawal of the forces from the southern region of the pocket to Myrnograd itself. I hope that somehow they will be also capable to withdraw our forces from Myrnograd itself to this area, because this is actually kind of the well-defended area after Pokrovsk. I already reviewed once those defense lines and satellite images and all of those trenches, so for Russia it will be really hard to break through after Pokrovsk, I am sure about it. The idea is just to save the lives of Ukrainian troops in Myrnograd. But it seems like Russia is not capable to hold the front lines entirely. For example, Ukraine also has counterattack attempts in Kupensk, that's the Kharkiv Oblast, and this is the city. Russians stalled there with their forces, and even Russian military bloggers are saying that the situation for Russians in Kupensk is critical. Even had to partially withdraw the forces from the left bank of the Oskil River, and still there is the presence of their army in the northern area of Kupensk, but it's not equal to what Putin proclaims himself, that Kupensk was taken by Russians. No, it's far from it, very far, and with supplies from Golubivka, well, basically Ukraine aims towards every vehicle, every soldier on the way to Kupensk, so Russia is partially at least trapped there. We'll see how it goes further, because Russians, they definitely need the breakthrough to make this operation for them successful. But it seems like Russia dispersed its forces too much along the front lines. In Zaporizhia and Pokrovsk, Konstantinivka, they also fight for Kupensk, Kharkiv region. Yeah, too many points of activity. So it seems like Putin understands the problem in the Russian army and he needs more of the cannon fodder. He announced a mobilization basically of reservists to the army for the special drills which will start in 2026. Yeah, военные сборы means regular military drills, but it's the first time they want to conscript Russian reservists. How many, they do not specify, but those could be even millions of soldiers, because reservists, let's calculate, Russia conscripts around 300,000 soldiers per year for compulsory conscription. They're not taking part usually in Ukrainian war, but they become reservists. So for multiple of the years, there could be also multiple of the reservists who even served in Soviet army. They also counted as Russian reservists. So you see what's happening. They're not talking any longer about protection of the Russian refineries, Russian power plants, whatsoever. They're calling people for taking part in compulsory military drills in 2026. It means that Russia wants to continue, or even worse, we may expect something even bigger, as I've told you in my last video about the possible attack on other European countries. Also, the deep state military map gives us this update from Siversk. Half of the town is being captured by Russia already. Let's zoom out and check out the update. So, yeah, substantial movement. Russia definitely captured it, unfortunately. We also have the confirmation about it from Pocrosk, and Russians even went to the local train station, but they were hit there. I guess it's that's the school building. Russians even put their flag there in the school, but it was dismantled by drone. You can see the school is no more. And by the way, here is the very important breach where Russians spotted there already. So we don't have the specific video about this one, but probably yes, Russians were spotted even here, some of the small group. Also, their group is operating in the eastern side. We have somehow on Instagram this video. And Russians were spotted there by Ukrainian drones. Yeah. While still in Siversk, Ukrainian drone operators are very active. Russian infantry is running around from Ukrainian drones. They're hiding in those ruined buildings under the bridges over here, but it doesn't help in many of the cases. Ukraine tries to defend Siversk as hard as possible, mostly with the help of the drones. But half of the settlement, as you saw, was infiltrated by Russians already. And yeah, one of those videos that I showed you, it was from this bridge, and Russian infantry already tried to cross it. So yeah, the situation is not good in Siversk, and I guess there is just occasional presence of a Ukrainian army in the settlement. Mostly the job is done by the drones. Ukraine tries to avoid direct close-up shooting battles with Russians, but sometimes they're still happening, as for example it was in Rivena in Pocrosk direction, where Russia took this small village. We also have the update from Vchansk. There Russia also advanced a little further. Ukraine is using aviation gliding bombs to stop the Russian offensive, but you can see that Russian aviation is also working. So it's just a matter of time, then Russia occupies Vchansk fully. They already crossed this river here and they move further. Just few of the streets are under Ukrainian control. This part of the front line actually was standstill for very long time, for 1.5 years at least. It was the status quo, but now Russia started to use more forces. I think that they aim mainly to cut this part of the front line, so occupy Kupensk, advance to the north-western side, and from Vchansk to the south to create this sort of the pocket for Ukrainian army, and only after that they might start crossing the border from the new areas and also from this place to in attempt to get Kharkiv under control. But I don't think they will be successful, as the last time it was in 2022. They didn't even go to the city despite it's been very close to the border. There was the huge local resistance. Yeah, sadly, for the last day, Ukraine lost a few of the vehicles. We have it in reports, unfortunately. Yeah, it is probably a tank that was unfortunately hit. It was hidden underground with a net on the top, masking net, but it was hit, yeah. Now let's go to the southeast region, Hulai Pole, that's Zaporizhia region. You may see that Ukraine lost a couple of the vehicles even behind Hulai Pole, quite far away from the front lines and Russian positions. So Russians not even entered this settlement, but still capable to hurt Ukraine behind it. It's not okay, and it shows how any army can get precisely the other one, targeting units further away. Well, not hundreds of kilometers, but Russia also has Landsat drones, which might fly by 100 kilometers at least. But the FPV drones, as it was in this case, they might fly by dozens of kilometers, like 50, 40, already easily, especially fiber optic control drones. So let's check out this loss. Russia showed many destroyed Ukrainian vehicles, actually multiple of the vehicles, in Hulai Pole. Those are not the armored infantry fighting vehicles, Bradleys, Strikers or something like that. Those are supply pickup trucks. That's it. So, as you might see, Ukraine is losing supplies on the way, and there is no net corridor towards Hulai Pole, unfortunately, in this location, which might at least secure some of the supplies. And yet it looks like Kozak MRAP, Ukrainian-made vehicle that was hit as well, not just pickup trucks, but also MRAPs, as you might see. And here to the south also could be something on Telegram. Well, here it's M1117 your vehicle, as you can see. One drone is flying there. It hit the vehicle. First, Ukrainian soldier jumped off, and then the second drone hit it once again. In this case, it was the armored vehicle after all. Well, it looks like Ukrainian soldier made it out at the proper time. It's not a good news because with the lack of supplies, Ukraine cannot defend Hulai Pole for extensive period of time. Russia, unfortunately, here uses its advantage. They send the most capable forces, also Rubicon drone unit. They operate all across this town, and their goal is to break from Hulai Pole and cross this defense line. And in this case, they'll have the free way to Zaporizhia. And here it's the final defense line just before the city, somewhere in Kamiene, Hasivna, near the airfield. I used to fly there multiple of the times, but Nowadays, armies are using the ground drones. For example, this is the Russian ground drone. It was transforming some of the mines for mining the territory. It was spotted not far away from Pocrosk, and it was hit by Ukrainian drone. The detonation was tremendous. All of the mines kaboomed instantly, and the Russians will not receive their mines any longer. Ukraine is also using lots of the ground drones, and there at least Ukraine has the advantage over the Russian army in using the ground drones. As for the rest of the front lines, it's mostly the same. Russians didn't make any sort of the convoy attack attempts as they did before, like I reviewed in my most recent video. You may check it out on my channel. Yes, guys. My friends, there are many more news relative to Ukraine, politics, updates, events, but I want to speak about it next morning in a few hours because I have a headache. I need to sleep. I'm sorry, I just cannot film long video today. Frontline update. Gonna edit this video right away and upload. I'm sorry for making it this way. Just a frontline for this time. In a few hours I'm gonna wake up and film one more video. And guys, thank you so much again for your kind support. Patreon link is in the video description below if you have this opportunity. Also, you may support me on membership. Thank you for making my job possible on this channel. By the way, I have another channel. Did I tell you? I think I told you. It's called Captain Dennis. It's my picture there. That's the name of the channel. And today I filmed the video about religion. Probably I'll have some of the hate about it, but if you want to know more about my life, about my views, about some political updates, about some really trash content, you may subscribe for that as well. And please also don't forget to press your like to this video and subscribe for the channel, because that is how you propel this video in YouTube algorithms. Thank you guys so much. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.